thing. I have got no service in the club, you say. What did you say? Oh, you're breaking up on me. Sorry, I can't.
What nonsense! Who's coming with me? Think of our England shot house themselves, Jack. Who are you anyway? Stand out of the way. Keep doing that the next thing.
It was the turning point of World War II. 3 million hundreds of thousands of ships and planes. A logistic
I am a holiday. You're failure.
in the military operation.
They all want to kill me.
Was the Battle of Normandy. More than 75 years since the end of the war, certain details of this tremendous battle have gone untold.
Very few people can tell you what happens in June and July and August and how the Battle for Normandy actually ended.
Now, unpublished archives, 20 years of research, experts from the United States, the UK, and Canada bring to life the boots-on-the-ground reality of Normandy's 85 days of hell.
Liberation has come to Normandy, but so has war.
3 months of savage combat.
If we can destroy the German army in Normandy, then the rest of France will be saved.
During which the Allies and the Germans will fight mercilessly.
It's a battlefield where they live and they die, and when they fight and where they kill.
From the average soldier point of view, this just seems to be a hopeless situation.
It was a very dirty battle, the Schmutzige Buschkrieg, a dirty bush war.
Everyone paid a heck of a price for this.
D-Day was just the beginning. June 6th, 1944. Early morning. Thousands of boats embarked from England, headed to the French coast of Normandy. 2 years in the making, it's an Allied operation to take back France from the Germans. They call it Open.
Rarely in history will you find a time where these major powers are all mobilized almost to the full extent of their strength to have this confrontation over what is happening with the Normandy invasion.
Allied soldiers will face a territory that the Germans have occupied for 4 years. Gand, Cherbourg, Saint-Louis, all the great cities of Normandy are under Nazi control. The landing zone chosen is 80 kilometers long. Placed under the command of US General Eisenhower, the troops will land on 5 sectors. To the west, the Utah and Omaha beaches will be taken by the Americans. To the east, the Gold, Juno, and Sword beaches by the British and Canadians. Around 6:30 a.m., the first waves of Allied soldiers land on French soil. The Allies suffer heavy losses from the entrenched German defences during the first hours of the landing. But soldiers and armoured vehicles continue to land, putting pressure on the enemy.
The vital part of any seaborne invasion, like Operation Overlord, was to get ground rapidly, because only then could you start to push back the enemy so that they could not keep firing at the beaches.
After just 1 day, thousands of Allied soldiers already engaged. But the one state of the landing was fatal to the Germans. The first phase of Operation Overlord is completed. Scattered throughout the landing zones, the Allies must now regroup the different units on the ground.
You gotta link up those 5 beaches as quickly as you can. If they're not linked up, then the Germans can fill the gaps and can begin attacking the Allies from any direction they want, from what military people call the flanks.
Eisenhower and his generals needed to create a buffer zone to protect against the German counterattack that would come. And in fact, they prepared for that.
will drop near the landings. At the same time, hundreds of gliders transporting troops have also crossed the channel in great secrecy. This joint operation has already created confusion within the Canadian forces. In the early morning, when the first soldiers arrived from the sea, the next phase could then start. A large air operation to prevent German reinforcements reaching the 5 beaches.
The plan for sealing off Normandy was called transportation, and this meant bombing all the bridges over the River Seine to the east and over the River Loire to the south, so that the whole of the Norman area was completely cut off. But also it meant smashing houses and towns and villages at crucial crossroads and places to prevent the Germans bringing up reinforcements and supplies. The American phrase which had been invented in Italy was called putting the city in the street, which basically meant simply blocking the roads so that traffic could not get through.
Even before the fighting starts inland, Normandy is partially destroyed. No water, no electricity, no phone lines. And now, after taking the 5 landing beaches, the Allies must advance, whatever the cost, to push the Germans back little by little and occupy enemy territory. On the east flank of the beachhead, the first objective of General Montgomery, commander of the British and Canadian forces, is to seize the city of Caen, located nearly 20 kilometers from Sword and Juno beaches. On day 2, Montgomery is convinced that he will succeed in rapidly capturing Caen. But facing him is General Erwin Rommel, known for his feats in Africa and nicknamed the Desert Fox. Rommel mobilizes his most powerful armored divisions to meet the British-Canadian forces advancing towards Caen and block Montgomery's Allied offensive.
When the British and the Canadians begin to fight around Caen, they are doing massive tank assaults. They're trying to steamroll over the Germans. They have more tanks, they have more troops, they have air power. But the Germans were fighting on the defensive. And if Normandy had shown anything, is it's fighting on the defensive in dug-in positions with anti-tank guns, with mortars and mines, and a single 88 gun that tears apart 15 Sherman tanks will stop a column of troops.
The first days of fighting north of Caen are devastating. The perfectly organized German defenses invariably repel all English and Canadian attacks. Facing the German Mark IV, Mark V and Tiger tanks, the American Sherman tanks used by the Allies are just not up to the mark.
You have to remember, every American Sherman tank has to be shipped to the battlefield. So it means you have to do something that's reasonably light to be able to ship and small enough that you can get it on the ship. It's a reasonably good tank, but you don't want to be in a toe-to-toe battle with a German tank head-on.
33 tons for the Sherman, over 43 tons for the German tanks. More robust, with armor superior to the Americans, and delivering devastating cannon power.
The muzzle velocity of those tanks meant that if it hit me, that shell would penetrate your armor, probably, especially along the sides, and break through or, worse, rattle around inside and explode.
But I thought I'd just stop poking fun at American rock stars for a second and just say how adorable I thought the
While the British and the
anniversary
Canadians
pictures
are defeated on the east
of the King
flank,
and Queen were.
the Americans
There's a lot of people that speak a lot of about this, and it's this type of stuff that keeps us stuck in the Stone Age. What's the divorce rate these days? Like 60% or something like that. I think expecting this nonsense.
Americans start advancing on the other side. General Bradley commands the
Chit
troops.
chat.
Their first objective is 17 kilometers from the coast.
All across the world,
Small
it's
town
just
of Halsall and its network of roads and railways.
I think
The Caravan is really the key to seal off the Cotentin Peninsula and then capture Cherbourg, the greatest harbor in Normandy. But also, then it comes back, you're going to start moving southward towards the town of San Juan.
The 101st American Airborne Division surround the army on June 9, 1944. The fighting, ruthless and savage, would last 4 days and 4 nights.
About the seconds. I was going to say life's all about the seconds. Don't ever forget it. Seconds on the clock. Second chances.
On June 12th, Carrington falls into American hands,
Two's
with heavy
caveat.
losses on both sides. But the Allies have achieved their
You know
goal.
what I mean.
6 days after the landing, all the coalition forces are finally built up. The troops occupy a beachhead 80 kilometers long, reaching in certain spots 10 to 30 kilometers deep. While on the west side, the Americans advance towards Cherbourg and Saint-Lô. On the east side, the British and Canadians still clash with the Germans, who maintain their positions around the corner. These repeated defeats put Montgomery in a difficult position with the US command. He's desperate to win the first irrefutable victory on the battlefield. On June 12th, he attempts an encirclement maneuver by skirting the Caen from the west to trap the German positions. The 7th British Armoured Division is sent to the small town of Villers-Bocage. But the Germans anticipate them and ambush the British with a Tiger tank battalion commanded by Michael Witte, the most impressive tank commander of World War II. One by one, the British tanks are destroyed.
Well, I found a beanie, so I put it on. I thought I'd show you the sailboat.
The failure to capture Villers-Bocage by
Very
Saint-André
nicely.
and Ferticourt did impact badly on morale. They just realized that
This one keeps appearing
up
up
a job than
the
they
weirdest
had
time.
thought about
I'll try and show you.
imagined when they set sail.
It is. And I better give them a shout out because they helped me a lot. Can you see it? It's just like on the Matrix. That's the Commonwealth Bank. I swear to God. It just keeps like hearing. I'm not going to read too much into it, but I mean, I guess I'll fucking app them and maybe they can pay me. But yeah, look at that. Flotilla of beautiful sailboats on the Derwent, which is just like crystal clear. It's cold, but it's fucking, there's no one here. So I always forget I'm supposed to say this bit. This is by order of the Peaky Blinders. Yeah. Some things change, some things never. But I always forget I'm supposed
The
to say
operation
this.
designed by the Allies for 2 years is not going as planned.
So what's
Even
the hard,
worse,
the
a
hard
terrible
truth?
storm falls on Normandy for
To
3
be
days.
blunt, which is what you call
The two
an
artificial hearts
oversupply.
installed to unload
There is an oversupply of doctors, of surgeons, of nurses, of all medical staff because
and equipment are
we're
badly
going into
affected.
a period of health. And we've prepared for a period
The one on Omaha Beach is
of not health.
Totally
Because
destroyed.
purely because of fashion.
the supply
It
of
was
soldiers
fashionable
is
to
considerably
send your
slowed.
children to go and be lawyers and to go and be like insurance salesmen or financial whatever and to be doctors. And so all the people with all the
In
money
these
sent
conditions,
their kids
taking the
there.
port of Cherbourg
And when
becomes an absolute
the
priority
demand
for the Allies.
wasn't there naturally, well, the
capturing
financial
Cherbourg,
people got behind
the
it. They
Americans
got
take
the
10
advertisers
days
and
to
the
travel
marketers
50 kilometers.
to market sickness. Possibly the most dystopian concept you could ever conceive of in the world, but it was done because people with money got used to having money and they didn't want to say goodbye to their money and they didn't want their children to have to work with their fucking hands and potentially get dirt under their fingernails. They'd much prefer them to get blood under their fingernails from chopping up people that didn't need to be fucking chopped up. Because they were sold
Kilometers in rude shape.
non-stop, repeatedly,
The fourth,
on every fucking screen, in every billboard, in every movie, in every TV show,
Then
for decades. Until now. So you may think Donald Trump's making a big mess of the world and all this financial, these tariffs and things like that. Oh my god, oh my god. Wait till you fucking see what happens when this grumpy, whingy bunch of fucking entitled, bloated fucking yucks realise that there is a million eyes watching every fucking move they make, every single script, every prescribed surgery, every single thing. We're not overrun by disease. We're overrun by abundance.
they launched the attack the
We're
following day.
overrun by the medical industry's version of those guys that come and try and fucking
Three
fix
U.S.
your
divisions
driveway.
are all just advancing north
That's what
towards
we've got
Cherbourg
going.
and trying to get into the town as
And
quickly
they
as they can.
do not want to change. They've gotten very used to driving their nice cars. They've gotten very
The
used
city
to going
is
to their
defended
nice
by
parties, to
30,000
ordering their nice
troops
bottles of
trapped
champagne,
by the
ordering their
Allies.
nice bottles of whiskey, whatever the fuck it is, their nice international holidays, all these things by chopping your children up, by chopping your parents up, by prescribing fucking
They're doomed because
disgusting,
the Allied
despicable
Navy
fucking
from the
drugs
seaward
that
side
are far,
can
in
pound
most
them.
cases, far more
And then the American
potent
Army,
than most street
coming from
drugs.
the landward side, can kind of just catch
These
them in a
are
vice.
the fucking organised criminals of this generation.
So the whole
They
thing
wear
kind of
suits.
just devolves into this sort
They're
of block by
clean-shaven.
block fight.
And you wouldn't fucking throw them out of a fucking hotel in a million years. But it doesn't change the fact that this is what's going on. Their largest tool that they've done, or that they've used to prevent this becoming
It will take a few
awareness
dares before the American
if
soldiers drive out
anyone
all pockets of resistance in the city.
frustrated and aggravated by their monstrous acts, dares to speak about it, then they use their psychiatrists to say that that person is violent, is mentally ill, is troublesome, is disruptive. That is how they've kept this fucking con going. Well, no longer. A hospital, the idea, a current idea, I'm going to say it again, I've said it tons of times, our current idea of a hospital is an artifact of the 2 world wars in which people were chopped in half with machine guns. Now this is still going on in the world, and the hospitals in those places, they'll tell you what trauma really is, what a hospital really does.
And as soon as these wars are finished, they're the individuals that we're going to bring back to adjudicate what's going on in our current hospital system. Because it's a fucking mess. And someone that's done life-saving surgery on a soldier that has had their arm blown off, their leg blown off, half their guts hanging out or anything like that, they're the ones that are going to come back to this system, and we're going to bring them into every fucking hospital, and we're going to expose the bullshit that's going on by this fucking yuppie entitled fucking class. We don't need these supermarkets for psychopaths to sell their wares. Tropes of every politician for the last week, we need more hospitals, we need more hospitals, we need more hospitals. When's someone going to say, maybe we don't need hospitals? We need healthy people, and healthy people, that's the most contagious thing. That's the virus that we need. The virus, contagious pandemic health, which means doing something rather than just consuming all the fucking filthy propaganda and PR that wants you to think that you're going to die, that you're sick, you need surgery, you need pills, you need everything else, when you don't. They've stepped into the vacuum that was left by the churches coming to the future age. Churches increasingly, even the largest, most powerful churches, have increasingly gotten out of our way. They've allowed us to be free. They've allowed us to interpret religion, to experience God in our own way, and to steer ourselves a bit like these kids are steering themselves on those boats. In the vacuum that's been left by those religious institutions, this medical conglomerate has stepped in, ushered in by the private health insurance boom that started in the mid-80s. And this is the crash. The best insurance you can get for a healthy life is to live a healthy life and to get your mind out of the negativity. There's no better panacea than that. It doesn't come in a bottle. It doesn't come from a chemist. It comes from living a life as we are intended to, as physical, living, breathing human beings. That we're not meant to be glued to a screen of doom. Now, these screens can be used for wonderful things, but they're not. And before these screens was a TV screen. And we were bombarded, not knowingly, by non-stop television programs designed to draw us in, just like we used to be drawn into the church, we're now drawn into the hospital. If there's a problem, we go to the hospital. Mothers are forced to give birth in hospitals in order to indoctrinate their children directly into the con.
The U.S. Army.
And this is as old as time. There's been wars fought over this. Midwives have fought wars for hundreds of years over being able to naturally give birth and things like that, away from the prying eyes of this cult. And it is a cult. And this pandemic has shown the extent that they will go to, and the ambitious power that they wish to seek in our system. And this has all been helped on by the financial, by the insurance, by the politicians that bow down and get kickbacks and do all this stuff. But with the help of all the largest religious institutions in the world, this cult is going to be brought to its knees. And those responsible for the worst acts will be brought to justice and will be publicly exposed for the lengths that they went to try and get inside our minds, fill them with doubt, and then offer up the cure, the false cure of their basically sorcery and witchcraft, if you want to get down to it. But that sounds a little bit too crazy. It's basically just people got greedy. They wanted power. They got together. They organised. And the pandemic was designed perfectly to lure them in to this false sense of security and to expose the lengths they will go to if they remain unchecked and unpoliced.
I let it burn.
So again, if you find yourself in this monstrous industry and you know that you are morally sound, start paying attention to every single level and start forming groups, making sure that you are protected from your own industry when you wish to speak the truth about the horrible things that are going on. You have an enormous support group around you, an enormous safety net that you can jump into at any time. Just speak up and start speaking, and you will be exonerated from any potential harm done. The worst offenders, more than likely, have already gotten wind of this and have already attempted to escape. More than likely, there's huge fortunes, change location, scene. So if you know a doctor that's done the fucking Harold Holt lately, or a surgeon that's done the old fucking Houdini, then tell someone. Tell the federal police, tell your local police, tell your politicians, tell whoever. This net is gigantic and will encompass all individuals within this grotty little fucking con. So yeah, if you've got some issues, please try and speak openly and honestly to your doctor. The biggest problem is there's some medications and things that are difficult to get off of, so please seek tons of advice before doing anything rash. This isn't a medical advice video. This is a warning at the highest level to the worst operators within this, that we are going to find you and we are going to bring you to justice. If you've got particular medical advice issues that you need, go and speak to somebody. And I'm not saying that's going to be easy. It's going to be difficult because it's going to be a bit of a mess, but that mess is far better than the continuation of this global con to enslave the world with sickness, or with the idea of sickness and the idea of magic cures. It doesn't exist. Yeah.
How come we both become a
There are amazing surgeons and life-saving people within the medical industry, particularly in massive trauma, and I've experienced this myself. I've been stitched up by them myself. The nurses, by far, they're probably, most of them are quite lovely individuals, and they're very caring and they're there for the right reasons. It's a financial and a high up level organisational con, and this in no way brings disrepute to those hard-working ground level individuals that console people, that care for people, that do all the things that we still need. It's the top organised conspiracy to convince us all that we're sick. That's what we're trying to come after. It's happened before in other things. Look at the tulip bubble. It's a little bit like that, except it's far worse, because that was about flowers and this is about killing people. So you combine, hysteria, financial hysteria with invasive medical pseudoscience, and it's a disgusting perfect storm that can only be described as a war. It's a war behind our walls, it's a war in our very backyard, and it's coming to light. finally. So what's the hard truth? To be glut, which is what
even know. In these crazy times, I hope to find something I can cling
children,
on to.
this right here,
'Cause I need some substance in my life, something real, something that feels true. You better believe for you.
That's a nice little sailboat. Climbing. Sail training event.
Just so bad, but you can't fight fire with fire.
There's one there as well.
Oh, I hope I learn myself. Stop trying to be
Well, children,
somebody
this
else.
right here,
Oh, I just want to love you
connected to these
for free. Everybody wants
That's a nice little sailboat.
You just want
Climbing. Some lovely sail training
listen,
event.
I know how low I can go. I give as good as
There's one there as well.
I give. You get the brunt of it all. All I've got left.
But
Oh, I hope in time both will
this
find
is
peace
probably
of
the best and
mind.
scariest thing I've ever done.
Sometimes the road less
Notice
traveled
me
is the
having
road
every
best
scar and glove.
left behind.
Because
Well,
although there is a
I hope
slight
I
reluctance
learn to get over
from doing this a lot, like I did this
myself.
basically every day
Stop trying to be
when I was, I think, probably like 9
else. Oh, I just
till
want to love you.
high school,
Love you free, yeah.
which
'Cause everybody wants
seems
something from
insane, but
me.
it is
You just
slightly coming back.
want me.
What I can't believe is how
You
much
better believe I'm trying
your leg muscle.
to keep climbing.
It's not like I'm
But the
trying to do all my leg stuff.
climb feels like
I use
we're
my legs all
both
the time. I climb up and down hills.
none
I walk non-stop. I run occasionally, but running's quite vicious on the joints. Well, children, this
The only regret I have, I wish that it was just at a different time. The most turbulent period of my life. Why would I put that on you? That's just like a very heavy thing to have to talk about. But because of that period of time, even though it was so much fun, I didn't get to go on and make new memories with him. There was just memories in a big storm.
But, and oh god, look at it. That is worse than I thought. This is probably the best and scariest thing I've ever done. Notice I've got knee pads on and wrist guards and gloves. Because although there is a slight bit of muscle memory there from doing this a lot, like I did this basically every day from when I was, I think, probably like 9 until high school, and we used to play hockey.
Dale's been here 53 years. He's fantastic. Dale, grab a shovel. Go ahead. Grab a shovel. a beautiful tree now at the White House. Dale's been here 53 years. He's fantastic. Dale, grab a shovel. Go ahead. Grab a shovel.
Something's got a hold on me lately. No, I don't know myself anymore. Feels like the walls are all closing in, and the devil's knocking at my door. Whoa, out of my mind. How many times did I tell you I'm no good at being alone? It's taking a toll on me, trying my best to keep from tearing the skin off my bones. Don't you know I lose control when you're not next to me? I'm falling apart right in front of you. Can't you see? I lose control when you're not next to me. Yeah, you're breaking my heart, baby. You make a mess of me. Problematic. Problem is, don't want your body like a fiend, like a bad habit. Bad habits hard to break when I'm with you. Yeah, I know I can do it on my own, but I want that real full moon black magic, and it takes two. Problematic. Problem is, when I'm with you, I'm an addict, and I need some relief. My skin and your teeth can't see the forest through the trees. Got me out on my knees, darling, please. I lose control when you're not next to me. I'm falling apart right in front of you. Can't you see? I lose control when you're not next to me. Yeah, you're breaking my heart, baby. You make a mess of me. I lose control when you're not next to me. I'm falling apart right in front of you. Can't you see? I lose control when you're not next to me. Yeah, you're breaking my heart, baby. You make a mess of me.
You're my baby. You're the only one. You drive me crazy. But I still miss you when you're gone. Every second, every hour. It's in your nature to light me up. I love to hate you. But I can't stand it when you're gone. So I call you once every hour.
Things never happen the same way twice. will happen is another matter entirely.
We will help.
Of course, as will you.
Sounds braver.
If you were any braver, you would be a lioness. Things never happen the same way twice. Never know what would have happened, Lucy. But what will happen is another matter entirely. To escape this fatal labyrinth, the Allies try an ingenious strategy.
We've got to create a new opening through the hedgerows, because the main one the Germans have covered, and they're going to kill everybody who moves through there. So they begin to weld, ironically enough, the remnants of German beach obstacles, the metal, onto the front of tanks with prongs.
After all you put me through, you think I despise you?
And begin to use the tanks then to punch a new opening through the hedgerows.
With these so-called Rhino tanks, the Allies take the Germans by surprise. But for every hedge crossed, they remain at the mercy of the enemy soldiers.
Because the Germans had in the ditches beyond the hedgerow a lot of Panzerfaust gunners, which is one-time, one-shot kind of anti-tank weapon that can blow up your tank. So the infantrymen have to move very close to the tank, and basically what the military does is clean out the Germans in the ditches that basically means kill them. They're very close, face-to-face, quite often. And then the tankers will lay down what's called white phosphorus fire. White phosphorus is a terrible weapon. It is basically a chemical that can burn through as long as it has oxygen.
It was a very dirty battle. I mean, the Germans themselves described it as schmutzige Buschkrieg, a dirty bush war. And General Collins, who'd been fighting in the Far East, said this was worse than the jungle.
The town of La Haye-Dupuy, liberated on July 9th, will remain a symbol of this battle of unimaginable violence. Within the area, the fighting will cost the lives of 10,000 American soldiers, while advancing the front only 12 kilometers. On July 18th, after 3 weeks of relentless fighting since the capturing of Cherbourg, the Allied soldiers finally entered the city of Saint-Lô. But upon arrival, not much remained. The soldiers have to advance extremely slowly as the Germans mine the entire city. A few civilians emerge from their shelters to search the rubble for objects that might have survived the onslaught of Allied bombs. After Cherbourg, Saint-Lô is the second great victory for the Allied command. But the state of the city, which is later nicknamed the capital of the Loyalists, exemplifies the high price of liberating Normandy. After a month and a half of fighting, the troops' morale is at an all-time low. Every foot gained against the Germans comes at the cost of intense and merciless combat.
There's the stress of not knowing when the next German shell is going to come in and whether it's going to hit near you or not.
They see a very limited battlefield. It's a battlefield where they live and they die, where they fight and where they kill.
By mid-July, tens of thousands of Americans, Brits and Canadians have already died. Soldiers still fighting on the ground no longer have illusions about what awaits them.
Eventually the day comes when people will know and you're there. And you're a fugitive from the law of averages.
Between combat, life is monotonous. Soldiers constantly check and clean their weapons to keep them from jamming. Meals are usually cold. Hygiene is bad. And the wait for orders seems endless.
Very soon they were caught in the ice. They were all short of water. They developed various forms of stomach bugs, and everyone had diarrhea. All of this strange is happening in an environment of death and destruction.
A little alcohol, cigarettes, simple gifts that lift the men's spirits before the next advancement, the next mortar fire, the next dead.
Over time, many of them realized that the only way out was to be killed or wounded, even as reinforcements came behind them. Their world became very small. Battle stress became a tremendous problem in the fighting in Normandy. And in July and in August, as the strain continued, between about 20 and 30% of the casualties were combat stress. They had gone weeks and weeks without proper sleep, terrible food, all of these conditions. The strain had been too much and it broke them.
To compensate,
like every hummingbird and bumblebee, every sunflower cloud and
for
every
losses,
tree.
reinforcements land daily on the Normandy beaches and are immediately sent to the front line.
Nature's got me high and it's beautiful.
After a month and a half of intense fighting, the main cities of Normandy had been taken from the hands of the Germans. But the battle is far
This
from
corner
over.
of the earth is like me in many ways. I could sit for hours here and watch the air of feathers play. On the face of it, I'm blessed when the sunlight comes so free. I know this corner of the earth, it smiles at me. So inspired that there's nothing left to do or say. Think I'll dream till the stars shine. The wind whispers and the clouds don't seem to care. And I know inside that it's all mine. It's the chorus of the breaking dawn, the mist that comes before the sun is born. To a hazy afternoon in May. Nature's got me high and it's so beautiful, yeah, yeah. I'm with this deep eternal universe, from death until rebirth. You know that this corner of the earth is like me in many ways. I can sit for hours here and watch the air of feathers play. On the face of it, I'm blessed when the sunlight comes so free. I know this corner of the earth, it smiles at me. I know this corner of the earth, it smiles at me. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. sword! Give me your sword! Sword! Give me a sword! Sheathe your sword! Sheathe your sword! Once upon a time leave you where you stood. You believed I could. You'd seen it done before. I could read your thoughts and tell you what you saw and never say a word. But now that is gone, over with and done, never to return. And I can tell you why people die alone. I can tell you I'm a shadow of the sun.
Now that's a name I've not heard in a long time. A long time.
Staring at the lost, looking for the cause, and never really sure. Nothing but a hole to live without a soul, and nothing to be learned. And I can tell you why people go insane. I can show you how you could do the same. I can tell you why people never come. I can tell you I'm a shadow on the
What were you doing?
The names are strong force. But this book,
The force is strong.
force is unusually strong. Who was his father? I'm looking for myself straight again. Ah, there you are.
I was beginning to think you weren't coming. Master.
Are you ready?
Floated from within.
It's supposedly been through something. Catastrophic. You've been through like a storm or an earthquake together or something like horrendous. It would bring you closer together. No, but what if they are creating the disaster within
Side like always, wondering what to do with life. I'd already had a sip, so I reasoned I was drunk enough to deal with it. You were on the other side like always, you could never make your mind. And with one kiss, you inspired a fire of devotion that lasts for 20 years. What kind of man loves like this?
Schadenfreude, Pleasure und Pain. Schadenfreude, Pleasure und Pain. You done it so bad, you do it again. Schadenfreude, Pleasure und Pain. Schadenfreude, Pleasure und Pain. Schadenfreude, Pleasure und Pain.
Question.
A falling star.
When I heard your heart beating, you were in the darkness too. So I stayed in the
This has been described as the ultimate mum car. Let's put it to the test.
The GAC Aeon V is an affordable
The sky is darkening, and the beast is close at hand.